Hi everyone, welcome to the video, and this is me just sharing with you what I'm going to be taking with me on my upcoming 50 miler. So the equipment and things I'm showing you are what I've decided to wear for race day. For the most part, nearly all of these pieces of equipment I've worn pretty consistently for all of my long runs over the last few months. So nothing new on race day. It's all kind of tried, tested, and it's equipment that I feel really confident with. So with that said and done, I'm going to kind of just start with the top down and just share with you first of all the clothing, and then as we move through the video I'll talk about nutrition, hydration, some more, and then we'll finalise the video with the shoes that I'm wearing. So top down, I'm going to go with the Salomon XA cap. This is just the white version here. I was anticipating the weather to be warmer on the day. This is May after all, but it's looking like between 14 and 17 degrees, and cloudy with some rain at that. So whilst this is reflective and really good in kind of sunnier conditions, not going to be as perfect as I like for the day, but this is a great cap overall. So yeah, not going to get the true benefits of wearing this cap, but the solid cap, Salomon. We need to have a buff for the aid stations, so just kind of around my neck. I'm going to be wearing this buff probably all day. I may well take it off and put it around my wrist just to kind of keep it away from that area, but ultimately you've got to wear them as you go through the aid stations, so the buff is going to be something that I use throughout. Mandatory kit, we do have to have a head torch because the cutoff is 13 hours, and if you start in the morning it could be a little bit darker, and if you were to struggle with the distance or you were to take much longer past the cutoff, you might find yourself into the darkness. So mandatory kit, head torch, don't anticipate using that throughout the day, hopefully, fingers crossed. The shirt, I am going to be wearing a Gymshark shirt. Now, this is the one I've got here, nice luminous green. I may well pick the orange, just it kind of depends, but otherwise it's going to be that shirt there. Okay, so really, really nice, really breathable shirt. I've used it a number of long runs, and it's yeah, served me really, really well. Twinned with that, I'm going to be using some arm sleeves at the start of the race, which I can just take off. They're really, really lightweight, really, really breathable, so they're going to do the job for probably the first 25 minutes, half an hour, just until things get kind of warmed up. So they're going to be carried with me, and then I've got some gloves. I probably won't need these gloves at all, but it's kind of there just next to my kit for the day. If I wake up in the morning and it happens to be much colder than it was expected to be, then I'll just bring these along, but I shouldn't need those, but they are there ready to go. In terms of kind of over the top of that, I've got the Salomon Bonatti Pro. You do need to have a waterproof jacket. This is not a jacket I particularly like or enjoy wearing, but I wasn't going to buy a new one for race day. It's going to serve its purpose if I need it, but hopefully it's only light rain, and if it is light rain at that, I shouldn't need to actually put on a full waterproof jacket. The shorts I'm wearing, I've had for a really long time and I absolutely love them. These are the Salomon shorts. You've probably seen them in a lot of my videos. Nice compression element to that as well, which is really good. So I'm going to be wearing those on the day. Again, tried and tested, really, really like them. Around the waist, I'm going to be wearing a naked band just to carry additional fueling, which we'll talk about later. I never really actually got on so well with the naked band when I first bought it, but I think then the more you actually get used to it, the more it serves a purpose to you. You start to appreciate the true value of it. So naked band, absolutely fantastic piece of equipment. A little bit pricey, but it does the job really, really well. I've then got, I like the Reebok underwear. I find it, again, breathable and just nice and soft and comfortable, so I'll be wearing that. Compression calf sleeves from Compress Sport. Again, tried and tested. I love my calf sleeves. Some people wear them, some people don't, but for me, they're going to be essential on the day. And then the socks are actually Drymax socks. Now, these are a brand new pair of socks here, but I'll be carrying these as a backup pair, just in case I happen to be really, really wet on the day. The pair that I'm wearing are slightly different to this. They are a little bit longer, go over the ankle. They're trail specific, and they are grey. But this is Drymax socks anyway. Stunning, stunning stuff, and quite thankful that it's maybe not as warm because they are slightly thicker, but that improves the comfort. But therefore, it does mean the feet get just marginally warmer than you would perhaps want on a particularly warm day. The vest itself is a Camelback Ultra Pro vest, which I've done a review on this channel. It looks like this here, and you're going to have two bottles up front, and then going to be packed in the back here with a little bit of equipment going into the two side compartments. But ultimately I'm going to try and keep as much as I can out of the back of the pack just to allow more breathability, and I'll be using the naked band and probably packing that slightly more because you don't feel it as much around the waist. So I've got those two there. You have to carry a minimum of a litre of water, or the capacity to do so. So I've got 2 water bottles here. One of them seemed to leak recently, so I actually bought myself a backup bottle, but as luck would have it, I can't establish which one that bottle is now, because the last 2 runs I've been on, it hasn't leaked. So I'll probably just take that new one with me, just in the pack, because at the end of the day, if I need to chuck one bottle and use that instead, then of course I'll just do that. And then the handheld, I was going to be taking with me if it was a warm day, because I wanted to have the additional fluid available, and plus I can also stuff loads of gels in here, which I'll talk about later. There's a little question mark over this, because if it's not as warm on the day, I won't necessarily need as much fluid on me. I don't know, haven't quite decided yet. The reason why I'm talking about this here, because it's a fantastic bottle, has served me really, really well, and I want to make sure I include it in the video, so that when you see the footage on race day and you see it in my hand, you might think, well, I thought he wasn't going to be taking anything else. This is there as a possibility, so I haven't quite decided yet. So, on to now nutrition and hydration. Okay, so the big thing to mention about this race is that it is basically self-supported. You can't have drop bag, you can't have pacers, people sort of running alongside you, handing over equipment, hydration, nutrition. There are aid stations throughout, there are 6 aid stations throughout the journey on the 50 miles. But aside from that, you're basically running on your own, which means you need to be, as in my opinion, and it's my choice to do this, I want to make sure I've got everything on me that I need. The other thing to kind of bear in mind is that things on the table, whilst there's a really good range of items, they're not all great for me. First of all, and probably most importantly, I've not tried a number of these things on a run, such as a cheese sandwich. And then linked directly to that point is that as I'm on a plant-based diet and vegan, some of these snacks wouldn't be suitable anyway. And so therefore, I'm making sure I'm taking the things with me that will hopefully and should get me through the day safe and sound. So the primary source of hydration and I suppose nutrition in some respects is going to be Tailwind. So I've got 2 flavours here. I've got a naked one because that just kind of takes the slight edge off of normal water, really, not too much of a flavour there. And I've got the green tea buzz, which has the added caffeine in it. So obviously I'm going to be taking more sachets than this. And when my bag is fully packed, I'll kind of show you what it looks like. But these are the 2 flavours I'll be taking with me on the day. More recently, if you follow my channel, you'll know that Spring Energy was actually the gel I wanted to use, and then because of the issues getting products in from Europe, it basically meant that for the last couple of months there's been no Spring Energy at all coming into the country, and any of the gels I did have ran out at the beginning of May. I didn't want to risk it. Some people might, but I didn't want to risk it. So I actually switched over to Unived, which was quite a big move because you don't really want to be trying something new, but luckily I did have enough time to try a few different products out, and Unived was a product I was really wanting to kind of sink my teeth into, despite the fact when I first tried Unived probably 18 months ago, I really didn't like the particular flavour I got. So with that said and done, here are the Unived gels. Again, quantity of them will be different to what I'm about to show you, but I'm going to mix up the flavours because I think on the day it'd be nice to have just a different flavour on the palette. So I've got the vanilla orange, and I've got the dark chocolate mint in the kind of standard gel format, and then I've got the vanilla sea salt in the elite gel, and I've got the choco fudge. Again, quantities of those will be different, and I'll probably just pack my bag with within reason as many as I feel I need to, but I'm probably going to be taking a gel. I tend to, when I go on my runs, take a gel about every 7k, and then of course I've got Tailwind to kind of back that up. So if I have a gel for every 7k and then I put a few more in just as a backup, I think that'd be great with additional Tailwind sachets. I've also got with me just a little bit more kind of solid food. I've got the nut butter bar from Cliff, which I really like. I've also got the Lara bar, which is peanut butter choc chips. They're kind of like nut based as well, so I think it's going to have additional kind of nutritional value. Not a huge amount, we've still got chocolate in them, but you know. I've also got this here, which is really quite cool. The Run Ultra Butter from Unived as well, which I really enjoyed. So I've got 2 sachets of those, and the good thing about them is they're screw caps. I can screw them back on. Again, I wasn't entirely sure when I bought all of this what the weather would be doing, how much I need to be taking on board, so I just kind of planned for worst case scenario, which links to these here. Now the salt sticks, the fast chews, I anticipated using these because I really thought the weather was going to be super, super hot. It's not going to be that hot now. I will probably have a couple on me, but I don't think it's going to necessarily hit me in the same way it would have done if it was much, much warmer. So I've never used these before. I've never had to because the heat so far this year has been a bit average, and I've actually run in warmer conditions without these. So they'll probably be on my person, but I've not had a reason to use them thus far before. Equally, things like hydration tablets, they're not going to be with me on the day. I don't think I'm going to need these, but there was something that I purchased ahead of time in anticipation. The race itself is cupless, which means that even if you've got your 2 bottles, you need to have a cupless flask, kind of which bounces down. So I've got that for me at the aid stations. Probably towards the end, I might dive into a little cheeky cup of Coke, depending on how I'm feeling. So that's going to be that there. That takes you through the hydration and nutrition that I'm going to be using on the day. So you can see there's quite a lot of stuff there. It's pretty sweet. I've also got a little pack of kind of salted pistachios, de-shelled, which I'm going to have with me, and I just kind of prepare those and break all the shells open. And then I'm also going to take with me probably some kind of salted little kind of potato slices. If you saw my ultra video last year, you know that my potato bag just exploded and I smelled like a chip shop for the second half of the run, but that won't happen this time because I've got some more heavy duty bags instead. But that's again what I'm kind of thinking, and it should be, I think, sufficient. Whilst on the topic of other things I'm going to be packing with me, I'm going to be taking, obviously, this is really important, this stuff here, Squirrel's Nut Butter. I'm just going to be covering everything with this, making sure that it is in all places that could possibly chafe. I've got myself like my little mini first aid pack, so that's got the emergency blanket, which you must have mandatory kit. Got some plasters, some Compeed. Again, with the setup that I've got, I haven't needed to use plasters or Compeed on my feet for probably 18 months, nearly 2 years, but going over that distance, it may well get to a stage where I could well need it, but I think ultimately that's going to be probably the saviour on the day. I've got a couple of tissues. I've got some anti-bac wipes as well here. I've also got some rock tape. I'm not going to be taking this whole bundle, but I might just take some slices of it just in case, again, something kind of comes up. But don't forget, they have got medical staff at the aid stations, and I'm not kind of out in the mountains. This is not a completely isolated route where you're not going to bump into anybody. So I think what I've got there, once it's all packed in, should be sufficient for me on the day. Okay, so in terms of the shoes, when I started this journey, I really wanted to run the Hoka Challenge HR 5s, but they're since sold out, more or less discontinued. I can't find them in my size, not even on eBay. So I ended up going for the ATR 6, which I did all my training in, which was absolutely superb. So these are the newest pair, kind of the race day pair, which are here. I've got about 35 miles into them on trails, on the road, so I feel really comfortable with this shoe. I know it's going to be absolutely awesome for me. However, if it was to be particularly wet, talking about downpours and the potential for some proper rain, and the ground was totally cut up because of the rain ahead of time, then I would be running in the ATR, the Gore-Tex version, which I do have a lot more miles in, probably more like 200 miles in this shoe, but at the same time, if it would save my feet from being drenched and soaked, then I would obviously consider this. So I'm just showing you both pairs because I won't know until the day exactly which one, but I've run in both, so it's not really going to make a difference. They're exactly the same type of shoe, same model, so much for muchness. But that kind of gives you an overview of what I'm going to be doing on the day, what I'm going to be carrying with me, what I'm going to be wearing, and I'm really looking forward to it. Really excited now about the prospect of just doing my very best and trying to achieve the goal, which is to finish. There's no other goal other than that. If you look at my race from last year, I did the 40-mile distance in just literally a couple of minutes over 9 hours. So if I was to do 40 miles again, and I was to achieve a quicker time than 9 hours, even though the course is entirely different, that's quite nice, like a little marker to have, isn't it? So anyway, with that said and done, this is going to be the last video that I post before race day. And so thank you very much for being with me on my journey, and I will see you on the other side.